Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of my Underdog mech review series, where I review and play some of the most mediocre or straight up bad mechs in MechWarrior Online. In this video I'll be talking about the Kintaro, specifically the KTO-18. To be honest, this review could have been on any of the KTO variants, since they're all kinda bad and don't have much variation in between them. But the 18 was on sale, so that's the only reason why this variant was picked. At one point I thought I'd never buy the Kintaro. It's a missile medium which has to find a niche in between all the other IS missile mechs, from the Trebuchet to the Quick Draw at 50 to 60 tons. Furthermore, the Kintaro always had the reputation of being an underperformer. It didn't only have a big frontal profile, but also a fairly wide seated hitbox. Armor quirks does help it to a limited degree, but when any incoming fire is concentrated on your CT, those extra armor points melt away pretty quickly. The KTO-18 does have the most missile hardpoints of any IS medium, therefore an SRM build seems like it should work, but in reality it didn't, because using all 5 SRM hardpoints means having to expose all of your mech to the enemy, which often results in absorbing a lot of CT damage. The Griffin 2N and 3M, even though they have one less missile hardpoint, is the better SRM build by a large margin, since its JJ, shield arms, and better hitboxes makes it much more survivable. The builds that I later tried attempts to minimize that weakness as much as possible, by avoiding using the left side hardpoints at all. My first attempt was this MRM60 build, which exclusively uses the 2 high-mounted RT missile hardpoints. I demoed this at the beginning of the video. It's a better option than SRMs, but while it keeps the mech safer, MRMs, like LRMs, just doesn't do good quality damage due to the spread. It takes multiple salvos to take off components from larger mechs, especially if you're given only a narrow side profile. Another problem is the MRM's duration. You have to stare at your target for about half a second, which exposes you to return fire at that time. The build that I will recommend is this SRM Stubnose PPC combo. I'll have the skill tree and loadout exports in the description below. This has been the most consistently average of all the builds that I tried, which is better than what you'd normally expect from the Kintaro. I first demoed SMPPC SRMs in my SMPPC weapon focus video, which I'll also link in the description below. As I said previously, SMPPC SRM is an excellent way to avoid phase time for mechs that can't afford it. The SRMs will still spread damage, but the pinpoint PPC helps concentrate some of that alpha where we want. I also right stack our weapons for minimal exposure, and the left side becomes an entire shield side. So low phase time and low exposure together helps keep the mech as safe as possible. The way to play this is as a skirmisher, making short peeks at SRM range and getting back to cover. It can also trade favorably at short range with most mediums and some heavies, so if you see that kind of opportunity, go ahead and take these shots when you see them. Like, don't go toe-to-toe with an Annihilator, but something like a Daka Jaeger mech will hopefully spread damage across your CT and left shield side if you twist quickly. Also make sure to open your weapon bay at the beginning of the match so you don't get that stupid delayed firing of your CT SRM. This is something I always forget, and I wish there was some way to always leave the door open when I start a match. For our skill tree, because this is not a very hot build, so our skill tree will go a little light on heat gen and focus more on durability and speed. Alright, let's get into a match. In this match we're on Tourmaline. Tourmaline is kind of a neutral map for this mech. It's a little bit more mid-rangey in the solo queue. We prefer short range, like in Solaire City or maybe Viridian Bog, those kind of maps. But this map does have some right side peak opportunities at short range, like around this rock over here. Like if there's a bunch of mechs within that passway, then we can do a right side peak. I'm playing a little bit aggressively up front, and my team hasn't really caught up yet. So we took some damage to our left side already, which is intended. Here's a target within SRM range, so we take that shot. Low face time, so we didn't get too much damage back. So we take another shot here. Although this time we do take some return damage to our right torso and right arm. Right now I'm just gonna get closer to see if we can get some shots around the corner over here. We saw a lot of enemies over there earlier, so we still have to be pretty careful when we take peeks. Some more right side peek opportunities around this rock. You gotta be kind of careful though. Don't want to be like really we don't really want to be the one taking all the damage up here. Someone got a really good shot on my right arm. And, you know, I wanted to say that in this match I wasn't protecting my right arm so well. Like, if I wanted to twist faster and protect it better, like, I really should turn my mech and do torso twist at the same time, and that'll make it a little bit faster. But sometimes, you know, damage to your important components are unavoidable. Here we're kind of forced to take a left side peek, which is something that we didn't really want to do because, you know, that right side is all clogged up. Managed to sneak snub those PPC shot past our friendly, around our friendly catapult. It's just way too much, too many things, too much things going on here, so I want to go to the left side again. So if we're hot, just use the SRMs, which is much more heat efficient than the snub-nosed PPC. Managed to kill on that. I think it was a Warhammer. So another thing I want to mention, the skill tree isn't fully maxed out when I was playing this match. So it'll be a little bit cooler when you max out your skill tree. Here I'm kind of in a full-on brawl with 3 mechs, and they seem to be concentrating on me right now. As you can see, even though I'm twisting, I'm taking a lot of CT damage. Finally, we succumb to enemy fire. It's a good match, relatively speaking, for the Kintaro, but it does kind of show you how wide that torso really is and how fragile it is. Okay guys, I hope you liked this edition of Underdog Mechs. I just created a playlist of all the Underdog Mech reviews I've done in the past, which I'll link below. And make sure to subscribe to this channel for more MWO content like this, and I'll see you next time.